really relevant to us, especially people that are either new to doing tshuva and are comparing their lives now to the past. Perhaps they are having some tests. When they were still a spiritual criminal, they were allowing themselves to be also a criminal otherwise in all types of illegal businesses that are against the Torah, all types of illegal businesses that are against the Torah, and also the Memshalah, the government, and they allowed themselves to be cheaters and liars and so on, and all of a sudden they're religious, and they know they can't stay in these corrupt businesses, this cash advance, this selling fake goods and things of that nature. So now their parnasah, their income drops precipitously initially. And they start thinking, oh, you know what, before I became religious, I had less problems, I had more money, I had more fun, it seems like. And all of a sudden, they start regretting doing tshuva. Or sometimes you have somebody that's frum. Somebody that's frum their whole life, but they look at their non-frum part of their family. Everybody has somebody that they know that's not frum. Everybody has somebody in their family that's or in their neighborhood or their neighbor that's against the Torah. And it seems like those people are having a good time. They're in Hollywood, they're in movies, all types of things. They're living a deluded lives. Anybody that looks at the record or reads the book, The Seventh Million, all types of things that talk about the Holocaust, sees that in 1934, when the Holocaust was getting worse and worse, Jews were being murdered in the streets, in concentration camps and so on, there were all types of anti-Torah people in Tel Aviv, that were watching Pinocchio. It was reported in the Deval paper that there was the premiere of the Pinocchio movie. They were happy about it. Jews were being murdered in cold blood, but they're watching Pinocchio. They're watching movies in the theater. And when some people complain about all these theaters while Jews are being murdered more and more by the day, already by the 1940s, it was announced that over 3 million Jews have already been murdered. So some people say, close the theaters at least. Close the theaters. They don't want to close the theaters. We'll settle with you. We're not going to close the theaters. We're just not going to have music during the intermission. Why? Addicted to sins, addicted to garbage. Your brothers and sisters are being murdered in cold blood, but you are watching movies. Watching movies. This, Rabotai, is people that unfortunately are not only addicted to sins, but are living a deluded life. Sometimes a person that's frum, either be the Baal Tshuva or they're frum their whole life. They look at the secular past that they have, or somebody that they know that's secular, and they see, oh, it looks like they have a better life. Look, he has a new girl every week. Look, she has a new diamond ring every week, new boyfriend every week, new this every week. Looks like I have a better life. And they start regretting their mitzvot. That's what Am Yisrael did over here. That was the biggest mistake of all. That was the biggest mistake of all. Why? Says over here, Rabotai Karim, something horrible. Says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu got angry. Not only that there was no rebuking, not only that there was meaningless complaining, but rather, Rabotai Karim, horrible things that the people said. So Moshe Rabbeinu says to the people, prepare yourself for tomorrow and you shall eat meat. In the name of Hashem, he says, you said, who will feed us? You said, it was better for you in Egypt, right? So Hashem will give you the meat, and you'll eat the meat. Not for 1 day you shall eat the meat, and not for 2 days, not for 5, not for 10, not for 20 days. Until the entire month of days, until it comes out of your nose and becomes nauseating to you. Why all this heavy punishment? Okay, you killed some, you burned some, but this is a horrible punishment, so much so that it literally came out of their noses. They were disgusted by meat after this. Why? Because you have rejected Hashem, who was in your midst, and you have wept before him, saying, why did we leave Egypt? You regretted listening to Hashem. You said, maybe I shouldn't have done tshuva. Maybe I shouldn't learn Torah. Maybe I shouldn't have done what HaKadosh Baruch Hu says. You regretted the mitzvah. Are you insane? Look what happened to your forefathers for doing such a thing. Now, if you think that this is just, maybe it's an opinion, maybe there's multiple opinions, everything has opinions. We know that halacha, if it's paskin in this world, it's paskin in Shamayim. Rambam, Hilchot TeShuva, chapter 3, halacha number 3. A very, very important halacha, Rabotai Yekarim, for every single person to know, because if a person doesn't know, they could literally lose everything. And the Rambam writes, anyone who changes his mind about the mitzvot he has performed and regrets the merits he has earned, saying in his heart, he doesn't even have to say it out loud, saying in his heart, what value is there in doing these? I wish I hadn't performed them. As a result of that, loses all of them. No merit is preserved for him at all. As the prophet Yechezkel in chapter 33 verse 12 says, and the righteous of the upright will not save him on the day of his transgressions. This, the Rambam says, only applies to one who regrets his previous deeds. Just as a person's merits and sins are weighed at the time of his death, so too the sins of every inhabitant of the world, together with his merits, are weighed on the festival of Rosh Hashanah. If one is found righteous, his verdict is sealed for life. If one is found wicked, his verdict is sealed for death. And an average person, a Benoni's verdict, remains tentative until Yom Kippur. If he does tshuva, his verdict is sealed for life. If not, his verdict is sealed for death. What is all of this connected to this sin? Bottom line is, a person can serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu the whole year. Goes to shul, learns Torah, does mitzvot, ishtabach shimo, not only a year, but he did everything. But a day before Rosh Hashanah, he sees one of his boys, she sees one of our girlfriends going on a vacation to Cancun instead of going to the synagogue. Instead of getting ready for the holiday, they're walking around careless about nothing, having a good time, new diamond ring, new bling bling, new this, new that, looks like they're living life. And they say in their heart, what do I need to be religious for? What do I get? I'm barely making ends meet. I barely have enough money to pay rent. I barely this, barely that. For what? Look at these people. They're criminals and they're having a good time. The Rambam says this person worked all year for mitzvot. Now he lost everything. He shows up at Rosh Hashanah poor. Nothing. That's why he has to do a very serious tshuva during those 24 hours. Hopefully he doesn't get judged like a wicked person. Needless to say, this is the same thing that can happen at the end of a person's life, where the Mishnah in Avot says a person should entrust himself until the day of his death. Why? Because a person could serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu to the maximum, but then if he watches too many things that are outside his four amot, if he watches television, if he listens to the non-Jewish music, if he delves into all types of things he shouldn't, he could easily regret all of the good that he did and lose all of it. And be judged as a wicked person, chas v'shalom. Be judged as a wicked person. A person needs to understand to serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu is to your benefit.